At George Washington's Mount Vernon, workers are trying to do something the namesake couldn't: grow fava beans.
Thomas Jefferson writes in a letter in December of 1794 that the president had grown them without success, and he's referring to George Washington, who was president at the time, trying to grow fava beans. And we also learn that Thomas Jefferson attempted to grow fava beans as well.
Wallace Creamer says the reason both former presidents were unsuccessful was because they were trying to grow them in the summer, and fava beans are a winter weather crop. Fava beans eventually caught on in the New Republic, well enough to be included in the first American cookbook by Amelia Simmons, published in 1796.
It was called American Cookery, and in there she talks about fava beans, and she discusses specifically the two different types. So the Windsor, which she refers to as the broad bean, fava, and then the horse bean, which is a much smaller type and was typically used as a livestock food.
Fava beans fell out of favor in the 1800s, replaced in large part by the lima bean. But today, fava beans are getting another look as a viable production scale crop. Professor Maria Bellota is part of a team studying fava bean production at the Tidewater Agricultural Research and Extension Center, operated by Virginia Tech. The school was awarded a grant by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to study the feasibility of fava bean production in the Mid-Atlantic. It can handle up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit.
It grows wonderfully at 60 to 65. It can do very well at temperature from 45 to 75.
According to a publication from the research team, fava beans are second only to soybeans in protein content. They also contain significant amounts of vitamins and fiber. But there could also be other reasons to grow fava beans. That same publication cites projections that temperatures in the Mid-Atlantic are expected to rise by 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit by 2050 and more by 2100.
If our summers are going to become too hot and too dry, that maybe we should be looking at crops that we can plant and grow at wintertime. And fava bean seems to be one of those.
Besides their practical uses, fava beans can also be planted for aesthetic reasons.
I think it's a beautiful plant that if you are a home gardener, it looks really great in the garden. It has a really large white and black flower that's nice to look at.
At Mount Vernon, the experiment with fava beans appears to be going well.
I think we will continue to grow fava beans. Rebecca's doing very well with them here in the nursery garden, and it's really great to have crops at all times of the year that the public can see as we're working to interpret George Washington's historic gardens. And because it's a crop that not many people are familiar with, those are the ones that draw the most attention and that we can really use to educate the public.
Whether they're used as a cover crop or as a protein source for people or animals, fava beans appear to have a favorable future in Virginia. At George Washington's Mount Vernon in Fairfax County, I'm Burke Moeller reporting.